What gives you power over beasts? Zirem said. They were walking along the road east in the forenoon, in a cloud of white dust raised by the wagons, and the donkeys the other priests rode. Here and there a youth was on foot, but only to loosen his stiffness. The two barefoot mad ones alone meant to walk all the way. But no, said Zirem, I always ask you this, and you do not properly know why, or how. Shell smiled, dreaming as of a smile. He looked at Zirem with the innocent, yet beaming total of love in his eyes. The eyes said, if I knew, you I would tell. Soon after, the first village came into sight. The workers ran round from the fields and vineyards, and the women and children from the houses. They bowed low to the young priests. They brought them wine with honey in it, and white bread baked specially. They had pinched and saved, and brought in a silver dish for the temple. The priest receives everything with lordly grace. They blessed the village desultorily. Were there any sick? No, praise to God, only the old men with sores. These would heal. They did not expect the young priests to deal with so irksome a chore. Zirem strode like wind-blown smoke from the standing corn. Where is this man? He asked in a voice of iron. Nervously 2 or 3 women directed him. Look, the dog you want to get among the bitches, quarreled the young priests behind their hands. But the women were no beauties. Hard work and hot summers and cold wintering had seen to that. For the girls, they were kept from the sight of the young priests by order of the temple. Zirem entered the hut where the old man lay, crying in his hurt. Zirem absorbed this hurt into himself. It moved him. He too had a memory of harm, though harm no longer came to him. He set to work with gentleness and intelligence, exhilarated by reality, determined to be one with it. Shell had not followed him. Shell was no healer. Shell sat beneath a tree, playing a wooden pipe he had made, eyes half shut. A new feeling arose in him also, as he gazed through his lashes at the hut. Shell, Eshva fashion, swam in the new feeling, bask in its bitter sweetness. Jealousy. The young priest departed, garlanded with the flowers of the first village. Zirem had not emerged from the hut, so they left him. When he came out, only Shell remained, with the amazed children staring at him from the shrubs as he played the pipe. The men had returned to their work, and the women were too old to speak to the priest alone. Zirem and Shell continued along the road, following the dust cloud in front. Zirem brooded, his eye luminous. Presently he said, I consider I must leave the temple. I think I have found what I must do. Shell watched him attentively. When I had done what I could for the old man, said Zirem, I felt a shadow fall behind me, a burden leave me, and something passed between us, the sick one and I. Yes, said Shell, aloud. An hour later they reached the second village where the rest of the priests had already been welcomed. A noon meal was being served, fruit and cakes, and more wine going round. A woman had brought a child which had fits, but she had had to wait. Shortly from being made to sit in the fright in the sun, the child had a fit. The priest, displeased, looked away. Zirem, who had just come up, went straight to the child and put his forefinger between his teeth so it should bite him in the spasm rather than its own tongue. When the fit passed, Zirem picked the child up and rocked it. There was a strange tenderness on his face, not actually feeling for the child, but at something waking in himself. Part astonishment, part laughter, partly pain. He took the mother aside and instructed her in the value of herbs, and then to the wagons, where he had the temple servants parcel these commodities up for her. The mother, dry and brown like the other women, started to cry. As if some wellspring in himself filled from her emotions, tears dropped from the eyes of Zirem. The remaining sick of that village were brought to him, and at the next 3 villages were brought to him. The young priests mocked him, but the people ran to him before even he talked to them or stepped forward, as if they sensed or beheld some sign on him that he had come from them, and not simply on a journey to get venerations and gift. In the dusk, the priests entered the day's last village, where they were to be housed that night in a little shrine. Lamps shone from every lintel, and men with torches and bells escorted them. The shrine had been swept clean and adorned with flowers. Incense burned and embroidered carpets hung on the wall. The herdsmen had killed a sheep and a cow to be their own priest's dinner, and now roasted this meat in the courtyard under the cinnamon trees. The red fires leapt toward the blue night, and the village people were singing over the wall, as if they were glad their food was to be eaten and their gold coins taken away. In the street, in the light of the lintel lamps, Zirem had carefully cleansed the lids of several children with sore eyes. An old woman shambled to him with an ache in her back. She told Zirem it was better the instant he touched her. And perhaps it was. Shell, playing the wooden pipe, watched Zirem return slowly into the temple court. He had bathed in the river, and water drops hung in his hair. "Yes," Zirem said, sitting by Shell under the cinnamon tree. "Yes." "Now I wish," Shell said, speaking, unexpected as his speaking always was. "Now I wish I had fallen sick." Zirem sighed and closed his eyes. "I will sleep 3 nights in this one night," he said, as if he had not heard.